Hey everyone, I'm grateful to have you tuning into today's message, and it's going to be another powerful one to wake all of us up to living our best lives, living authentically, which is, in my book, the only way we can hope to live our lives is one that's in total alignment with who we actually are. And so that's really what I want to dive into with you guys today. And what I would love is for you guys to drop me some comments, let me know where in the world you're tuning in from today, and as we go through it, I want to hear about what you're thinking and make this more of a conversation. And I'd also love for you to drop any questions that you may have, any parts of your own experience that you want to contribute to the conversation. All of that juiciness is absolutely really appreciated. So let's dive into it. But today has been a message that I think is really going to be key to each and every one of our growth. Now, the reason why I wanted to deliver today's particular message is because I've just been going over, so when I have a new client sign up, they go through a very in-depth process. So what that is before we even get into our first session, they have to fill in a very in-depth, detailed kind of history of what's been going on in their world. And it's 13 pages long, so it's very in-depth. And the reason why I do that and put people through that, the torment of this huge document that they have to fill in is ultimately because the more information that I can have on an individual, obviously, the more we can hit the ground running, the more that we're going to be able to dive deep into the key aspects of what has been potentially holding them back, and actually, get the most out of every single one of the sessions that we have. So today, I've been going through one of my new clients' detailed questionnaires, and it's been really enlivening to my soul because, and you might think, well, that's a bit crazy. How are you getting an enlivened soul by, diving into the struggles and the challenges of another person who really needs some help? And the reason is because when I see and hear and feel into the struggles and the challenges, every single time I do so, I'm reminded as to how universal our human struggles are. And what ultimately keeps us stuck is that we have isolated ourselves from the rest of the world, from other people's problems, because we don't open up vulnerably and we don't share what we're challenged with to the people in our lives, and therefore we never actually get to understand that they're just like us, these imperfect human beings with the same struggles in their own unique light in the world. And ultimately we're all kind of walking around acting as if we have it together, and therefore thinking when we retreat into our own space again, we think, oh my God, everybody else has got it together and there is something gotta be wrong with me, right? But being in the position that I am and getting to work with the clients that I have over the past, going on to 7 years this year that I've been coaching and working with individuals, I get this unique vantage point that a lot of us don't, which is to see under the cover, to see kind of the scary and the dark stuff that most of us don't want to ever have to, look at or acknowledge, and definitely not share with anybody else. And that's why this universality of our challenges as human beings is one of the best things that you can ever come into the glimpse of for your own personal growth and development. And that's why, I don't work with that many one-on-one coaching clients anymore. I prefer to transition that into group coaching, and it's for that very reason, so that you get to bear witness to the challenges and the struggles of other human beings, so that you can wake up and get that same experience that, oh, okay, I'm not the only one. Like, we're all struggling with the same sort of things. And that is so enlivening to the soul, because it gets you to realize that you're not alone, right? That you are just like all of us, there's not something wrong with you. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You're just a human being having a human experience on the journey. And, what can we do about that when we're not personifying and condemning ourselves, but but we're actually going, oh, all right, this is just one of those patterns that we experience as human beings, and other people have come before me, they've overcome this. What can I do? How can I learn from them? What strategies, what tools did they use? What pathway did they take? And does that resonate with me? And so that's kind of the gist of why I love doing what I do, and why I'm grateful to the one of my new clients who's just started, and they're my muse for today's message. But it really got me tapped into, why is it that we have these universal human patterns, that these limitations, these fears and insecurities? And basically it comes down to not knowing who you are, not knowing what you want, not having the courage to go after it. But why? Why is it that we don't know who we are? Why is it that we don't really know what we want? And why is it that we don't have the courage to go after it? And that's what I wanted to deliver the message of for you of today, because I really feel like this is a key pivotal point in this whole conversation, which is that when you outsource who you should be, you outsource the value of who you are. Now, what the hell does that mean? So we go through life, particularly in the beginning stages of our lives, and we're trying to determine who we think we should be. We're asking the advice of, people that we look up to, namely parents or guardians or teachers, and that becomes, our peers and the people around us, society at large, what we see in the media, whatever it is, right? Our movie stars that we love, whoever it is, whoever we look to and admire, we tend to kind of mold together who we think we should be. We outsource our identity to other people, right? And, I can look at my own life, and you guys have been following my journey for a long time now. You already know my journey. Living to the expectations of others, really never knowing who I was, never knowing what I wanted, definitely never having the courage to go after it or even discover the answer to the question, who am I and what do I want? And instead I just handballed that responsibility to the people around me, my family, and that gave me a sense of belonging, right? Now we all do that. It's kind of this tribal mentality. It's a stage of our development, which is a necessary stage of development. But what happens is when you've outsourced your identity, who you should be, but then you've never revisited that, and now you're an adult, now you're walking around your life and you're doing all these things. You don't know why you're in the job that you're in. You don't know really why you're in the relationship. You don't know why you chose to have kids or not have kids. You don't know why you live in the area that you do. You just kind of fell here. You kind of defaulted into this life, and then that inner voice keeps coming up that goes, whoa, like, who are you? What are you doing? This isn't fulfilling. There's got to be more, right? And when we get that inner voice, most of us want to just, whoa, I'm not listening to that, right? That's too scary to acknowledge that I might be on the wrong path, all right? That might create too much uncertainty. I might lose the people that I love in my life. I should be grateful for what I've got, We tell ourselves all these different stories, but at the end of the day, we don't know who we are. We don't know what we want. And we don't even have the courage to admit and acknowledge that. And we don't have the courage to actually discover who we are, what we want, and go after it. And so the reason is because we outsourced our identity at a very young age to the people around us. We told them, hey, you determine who I should be. And from that place, now that I've outsourced who I should be, I've also handed you my value as a human being. You not only get to determine who it is that you think I should be, you also get to determine how valuable I am. Because when we outsource our identity, the power lays outside of ourselves. So we look to the same surroundings that determined who we should be, and we go, all right, am I matching up to who you think I should be? Am I valuable, right? Because the degree to which I can add up to your perception of who I should be is the degree to which I'm a worthy, valuable human being. But my work, and I hope this resonates with you guys as well, is to flip the freaking switch on that, right? Because we don't want to outsource who we are, and we don't want to outsource our worthiness and our value. We want to flip that switch. At some point in your adult life, you have to have maybe enough pain, to go, hang on, I can't stay the same. Or, somebody who comes along and inspires you and you're like, whoa, I want something of what they've got, and it wakes you up to the path that's not right for you. Either way, something coming into your life or some sort of painful experience triggering you to find some answers, at some point you have to go, I'm flipping the switch on this, right? I am no longer going to outsource to the external world, my value as a human being, and I'm actually going to have that sitting inherently within myself, for being the human being that I am. But you can't just flip the switch like that. You have to also know that your identity is generated from within, not from the external. You're not trying to be a certain way to live to the expectations of anybody in your outside world. You're now doing the work to discover what it is that's meaningful to you as a human being. What do you value? Not what everybody else thinks you should value. What genuinely do you want in your life? And I'm telling you right now, the courage that you lack as a human being who's outsourced who you should be to the external world and simultaneously your value is not the person who's ever going to have the courage to go after what you want. But the person who is going to have the courage to go after what you want is the one who steps back and notices the pattern, the universal pattern that determines all of our fears and insecurities as human beings, that outsourcing rather than insourcing. And what we do is we take the time to build that awareness, to create the transformation within, to go, hang on, what's aligned with the kind of person I truly want for myself to be, who I'd be truly proud to be, that would be fulfilling for me to create the life of. And I align with those values and I create the life that I want. When you get clear on what that is inside of you, what you value, what you envision for yourself, you simultaneously become the kind of person who has the courage and the confidence to take that first step. And you continue to take another step. You build more and more confidence in the direction of the life that you were actually born to live, rather than a defaulted life that only leads you in the direction of the people who got to the end of their lives, and really discovered that the number one regret of the dying is, I wish I had have had the courage to live a life true to myself rather than one I felt was expected of me. And why do I say you need to get clear on who you are and what matters to you and what's meaningful to you and what you value is, like I said before, you won't have the courage that you seek to move in the direction of your dreams until you're clear on who you are and you're not outsourcing that to the world around you. You've got to become aware of the pattern. It's universal. There's not something wrong with you. We as human beings are uniquely wired, for belonging to the tribe. We have to realize our patterns. We have to become aware of them. We have to disengage from feeling like it's a personal thing that makes something wrong about us. And we have to step beyond that and we have to go, breaking that pattern, discovering, who it is that I am, and I'm going to align with that with trust and faith that I'll generate the courage with my own personal certainty that nobody in the outside world is ever going to be able to give to me. Only I can generate that from within. It's the taking of 100% responsibility for your life, for your fulfillment, and the path and the direction of your life and existence. All right, so hope that my rant today is of value to you guys, definitely resonating with you, and I'd love to hear from you. So drop me a comment, say hi, ask any questions, contribute any words of wisdom that you feel called to, but I definitely want to check in with you guys. So yeah, just remember this one and remember how universal it is. And anytime you're feeling stuck, you're feeling maybe there's something wrong with you, maybe you're just feeling that inner voice is just like, there's got to be something more than this, but I just don't know. Remember, you've outsourced who other people think you should be, rather than getting clear on who you actually are. Your certainty lays in the answers to who is it that I really am? What is it that I really want? And with the answers and the clarity and the certainty around those two questions, you will become the person with the courage to take that first step despite the repercussions in your external world. And with consistency and focus and effort, you will become the kind of person who doesn't just default into a life of mediocrity. You actually step into the designed life that your soul truly yearns for. All right? So let me check in with you guys. I've got Judy and Joe and David and Cody and Samantha and Lisa and Paul and AJ. Hello to you. And Jose. Hi, Vanessa. Thank you for reinforcing this knowledge. This completely resonates with me. And currently I'm working on cutting this pattern. Jose, I love hearing that. I love that you said this is a reinforcing of this knowledge, because at the end of the day, when you hear this kind of information, it should resonate with you on a very deep level, because like I said, it's universal to all of us humans. It's a stage of development, and it's the number one thing that I see that trips us up. If we don't know who we are and we don't know what we want, there's a reason for that. The reason is you're too outwardly focused. You're too reliant on what are other people going to think? What if I fail? What if people reject me? What do I stand to lose? It's all external attachment, but if you take the time to go within and connect deeply to the self, have some sort of self-honoring strategies, that will give you the courage and the confidence to move forward, all right? And it becomes easy to discover the answers to those questions. It's not easy when you're trying to filter it through a myriad of people's different judgments and opinions. Forget about them. They're on their own journey. They're living their own life. Focus on the answers that you can generate within yourself. And if you need, some guidance, don't just seek it from anywhere, right? Don't just let people into your life until, you get hurt and then you make a change. Actually be more discerning about who you invite into your inner circle, right? Be discerning about who you seek the guidance of. Do the people that you seek the guidance of, do they have the results that you're after? Do they have the kind of mentality that you're after? The number one thing that you should be looking for in any person that you bring into your inner circle, whether it's an intimate partner, a friendship, a business relationship, a coach, or somebody, or a mentor, or somebody supporting you, this is it. How committed are they to their own growth and figuring it out along the way? If somebody is committed to growing and learning from the challenges, and they're not afraid to step into the challenge, then that is the kind of person that you want in your sphere, because they'll encourage and inspire you to be that person too. And being somebody who has a growth mind rather than the fixed mindset is going to be the kind of person that you can consistently evolve with. Don't make the mistake I've made time and time again in my past, which has been to just let other people select me to come into their life, and then realize over time, hey, they're not going to grow. They're not going to keep growing. So in order to stay in this connection, I've either just got to stay and maintain this level of the same, or, I've just got to go the other way, right? And I've got to make a change. And sometimes you can invite people who've been in a fixed mindset to come with you on that journey, but it's a way better, smoother path for you to make sure that when you're discerning who to bring into your sphere, who to get guidance from, or who to go on the journey with, make sure that they are somebody who, whenever they're faced with a challenge, will grow through it, will learn from it, will become better for it. All right. So that's just a side message on this one. And awesome. And Christian's here as well. And Paul, thank you. Needed to hear that. I'm grateful to hear that, Paul. Thanks for showing up today. Great to see you. And Julie's here, and Chrissy, and Christian. Clarity equals power. You got it, my friend. Totally. And Lisa, hey Vanessa, this is actually what I needed to hear today. Awesome. I actually fired a client this week for this reason, very empowering. Oh, I love hearing that, Lisa. Firing clients is actually a very empowering thing to do. Particularly, I've recently had to do that about a month or maybe almost 2 months ago. I had to fire a client, and the reason was basically a lack of boundaries. There's lots of other different things, but at the end of the day, acknowledge yourself for your ability to fire a client that doesn't fit the growth path forward, and know that a lot of people don't do that in their businesses because they're too concerned about money, right? But that's being a prostitute, right, in your business. I hate to use that word, but it'll shatter you through those different times where you might prostitute yourself, where you should be more discerning, in terms of don't let anything buy you. You should never be able to be bought. And if you're worried, if you get to that point and somebody's not a fit for you in any regard, in intimate relationship, friendship, business, if they're a client, whatever it is, even I hate to use this term. I don't really mean I want to fire them, but I've let go of 2 of my coaches in this past week because they just weren't aligned anymore, right? And so you've got to be willing to let people go out of your life so that you can stay in alignment and make sure that the people that you have in your inner circle, they can see your greatness. They want to support and encourage it. They want to challenge you to not stay small and keep moving forward. They're not threatened by your growth and you shining your light, and they're absolutely in alignment with their willingness to grow and progress, all right? Rather than the kind of people that are aligned to this message that think you should be a certain way and they determine your value based on how much you can match up to their perception of how you should be. Don't outsource. Start to insource and start to be more discerning. And the clearer you are in that internal world, the easier it is, all right? And you won't be so bought and you won't be so stressed out. So love hearing that, Lisa. Awesome. So guys, I really hope today's message has served you, has resonated with you, and I hope that it's hit home and is of value to you. And so you will remember, to stop outsourcing who you should be, because when you do so, it puts your value of who you actually are in the hands of outside sources. All right, that's just not an empowered existence. So take back that power by realizing it's a universal pattern of behavior as us humans trying to belong. It's tribal mentality. There's nothing wrong with you. But just realize and notice it, build the awareness around what that is, and then decide that the most empowering journey for you is to know who you are, know what you want, and have the courage and the confidence to go after it. All right? And Angela's just joined, and Lisa, you're so welcome, beautiful soul. Grateful that that was of value. As always, I'm sending you guys all of my love, light, blessings, gratitude, energy, enthusiasm, everything extraordinary coming to you to wherever you are in the world today. I really do hope that it's beautiful, amazing, and extraordinary, that you're doing something super empowering, and today's message has definitely served you. Go out there, live fully, love deeply, contribute meaningfully, do what you were put on the earth to actually do. Live the life that you know in your heart of hearts you were born to experience, and go out there and inspire other people to do the same. And Zia, amazing message. You're so welcome. I'm grateful that this is of value and love having you join me live. Thank you to everybody who could join me live today. You are such beautiful souls. You are so appreciated, and I cannot wait to see you guys tomorrow. All right, much love.